All right, third take. So, with this whole divine energy, right? Everybody has their own way of looking at things. It's never going to be a right way of looking at anything. You know what I mean? Like, right and wrong really don't exist. Those are only perceptions to a person's way of thinking. Me personally, I've been like my whole life, like, people have projected that Cancer vibe on me because, you know what I'm saying, I'm born in June or whatever. So, like, they would project that vibe, like, oh, you hurt, you emotional, I could see it in your face, I could tell, da 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 da. And I never had the support system, you know what I'm saying, like, to balance out whatever I was going through, no matter if it was super traumatic or just some slight, you know what I'm saying, like, help show this nigga what it is as a kid so he can grow past certain things. I never had that. It was always like, you get the big blunt end of the stick and you got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to deal with that, that's on you. So me personally, like, it was always imperative, and the roles was always showing me to go within myself and like pat myself on the back or uplift myself or love myself, like. And it was hard to do it a lot of times because you were watching the world that people had love, they had family, relationships, lack thereof. And I never knew what confidence would do to a person's body, like, over a period of time. I never knew what um lack of belief would do to how you think about yourself and how you handle situations. I never knew the outcome of that when I was little, like when I was younger or growing up. Like, that was shit I wasn't aware of, you know what I'm saying? So it damaged me in certain ways, but I was always searching for the better aspect of things. Like, I always wanted that comfortable, loving situation, so therefore I can stand in that right. And then it would happen to be like life would beat you down so much, you want to fight back. You know what I'm saying? You want to give it back to something. You know what I mean? So it just never worked out the way you see certain things when you see life coming at you in all these different ways. It never works out the way you plan. So ultimately, I would just go inside myself. I would go into this all dark space inside myself where nobody could see. And I would conversate with me. I would talk about the things that I didn't understand or the things that I understood. I would help myself feel better about certain things that I never got balance on in life, that I never got support on. I would do that for me. Because ultimately what people fail to realize is when they make a decision to mix their energy with yours in some aspect or form, they are now responsible for the part of your energy that they chose to attach to. And nobody takes that responsibility. They just slide. You know what I'm saying? They just go. And then when they go, they want you to feel like they want you to feel some type of way because they're gone. You know what I'm saying? When in fact the action of being able to separate from somebody that you chose to attach to is fucked up. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you chose to mop the floor, but you just didn't do it and you left the mud everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just said, fuck it. Feel some type of way that I left it there. I might come back later and fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that type of energy. So you have to be able to access something inside of you so therefore you can feel better. Like, I don't know what that means when people be like, oh, it seems like you don't care. No, I cared enough to sit there and allow you to say and do whatever you wanted to do to me. I cared enough to listen to your aspect of how you judge me and lack thereof of what I couldn't be. I cared enough to not fight back and just to let shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the difference when it comes to the reality of shit. Like, the divine is always there to say, come to me. That higher energy inside yourself that's resonant. That's what the divine energy is. It's something that's a higher scale of the concept of what you think of yourself. It's inside of you. It's not outside of you. It's inside of you. So you have to go inside yourself to access this energy. And because it's an all dark space inside of you, that is resonant to the universe. So yes, when you're accessing inside, it's like a computer board to access the universe, right? And this shit get crazy, man. You know what I mean? Because it's so many times where you're in life and you're in love with somebody, or you got past situations that you care about so much, and you wonder if it was so much energy in that, why did it go so left? Why'd you choose to hurt me? Why'd you choose to cheat? Why'd you choose to lie? Why'd you choose to steal? If you care so much, why are you lying to yourself about how this feels instead of going directly to where that is? But you want me to carry the brunt end of that situation. And see, people don't sit down and actually look at the developments of what emotional conductivity does, whether it's on either side of the spectrum. Nobody looks at the outcome. And most people in life end up going far left on one side of the spectrum. They end up going way far left. You know what I'm saying? They go way far left. And then by the time you realize, you know what I'm saying, how far you went left on the scale, you're either a criminal, a psychopath, emotionally distraught, you know what I'm saying, or singed to emotions. I try to keep a healthy balance and to keep myself balanced out, because who's going to care enough? There is not unconditional love for the process of what we're going through. People just want their momentary understandings. There's not a longevity. This shows you how well people know the body, how they know the mind. You know, when you're around somebody for a certain amount of time, your body actually melds and starts to mesh to that individual. Because y'all spending that time together, y'all water is starting to mold to each other's fitting. So you become capable or compatible with that person that you care for, because your clay potter, like the clay, like the hands of your divine energy inside of you is molding you as a piece of clay to fit by your choice. So there's not a such thing as judgment opposing to the standpoint of how you want things to happen. If you're feeling like that, that's because you're dealing with other things. Like, people always want that situation to be taken care of right then and there. Life takes patience. It takes time. And it doesn't just jump because this is what you want at the moment. You make a choice to love someone, you have to put that time in to love them completely. And it has to be an equal value, because you're actually building to help mold each situation that you and this individual have to come together. You're molding that to come together. Some situations may automatically link. Some situations may take a little bit longer. Some situations may be more on this person or more on that person. But the ideal is to bring all levels together eventually, to where it's comfortable on both sides of the spectrum. And that's the clay molding in the understanding of different people's characteristic traits and how they see things in life. If you bring energy from other relationships, if you bring idealisms from other relationships, you're scarring and you're removing clay from your new process. Whether you know it or not, like, you're destroying it, because those tools are not meant for the new thing that you get yourself into. And before you look up, you don't want to take responsibility for your particular energies that you've been dealing with in a new situation. I can sit down and look at a lot of things that I've done in the past, and ultimately I can say to myself that that's me learning. Because I was always man enough to look back at it and say, yo, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I know what I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problem with that. But there's a certain level to how much shit I'm going to take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to listen to a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when that bullshit is attached to other energy and you just won't be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you honestly know when somebody's doing more than what they tell you out of you. I can't, like, me personally, I've been in situations where I know when a woman is like putting all her energy into you. You can feel that shit, because it's like the floodgates of water is open. Like, is locked in. You know what I'm saying? And you can also feel when that's not true. You might not have a piece of tangible proof. And you can actually feel when that tangible proof is not there, that they're leaning on the idea that you don't have no proof. And see, that's dangerous because you don't know the capabilities of this individual and how far they really want to go, right? As far as damaging what they have for you. Like, they don't see it as damaging. They see it as, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. Well, that speaks to everything that you came from and the shit, the resin energy that you came from in another circumstance that you dragging into somebody else's life. It's almost like a dog dragging dirt. You can see the footprints. And most people, they will never take responsibility for their action. They'll just go and tell a story. They'll paint a wonderful picture to people to try to make themselves look like, I didn't do anything wrong. This motherfucker crazy. Or he mad because of this or mad because of that. You know, one thing I never do, I never talk about it. I never go and say, yo, they did this, they did that. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta patch the hole that's been ripped off of me. You know what I'm saying? So I get into